Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to do a trailer breakdown for the upcoming horror film Black Christmas. Now, the major problem that we have with this movie is that Black Christmas has been done twice before. The original film, I believe, came out in 1974, and the remake of it came out in 2006, and now we have another version that is being done by Blumhouse Studios. I think they've been in the news a fair amount lately with all the controversial stuff involving The Hunt, which they were the studio for under Universal. Um, and this is here's the thing that's the problem whenever you do horror remakes is, and really when you do remakes in general, is that everybody compares it to the original, and this movie has from the trailer has a lot of callbacks to the original film. And I'm going to go through the trailer, and there's a few things in there that don't really make a whole lot of sense, and I'm just going to go through it bit by bit. Now, we kind of start out where it's a bunch of these girls. They're in a sorority. In the original, it took place in, I believe, England or around a suburb of London. I think it's the same here. There's at least an English teacher, English nationality teacher, not a teacher that teaches English. And it takes place around these sorority girls. We do see a few male characters pop up here and there repeatedly. And again, it kind of hints at a lot of the same stuff that went on in the original film, where, it's supposed to be Christmas break, and, it's kind of their last semester, and there are a bunch of stuff going on, and they have a party at their house and stuff. Now, in the original, if I remember correctly, I don't believe they ever had a party at their home or at their sorority house. But the general idea is that there was somebody in the house who was living in the original. He was living in the attic, and he was slowly picking off the sorority girls one by one and then hiding their bodies. In this, it appears that he's operating from outside the house. Again, kind of similar to I guess maybe you can compare it to, like, it felt like kind of like a Halloween thing where there's a girl walking home, and she gets confronted by the killer, and he kills her with an icicle. Now or presumably anyway, because that's what we see in the trailer, and the kill itself feels very dumb, because he confronts her and then she starts saying no, 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 and then he breaks off the icicle and then goes and stabs her. It feels very weird, because it feels like he should have broken off the icicle, stalked her for a little bit, then the stabbing happens. Instead of the order that it did. And then it also shows that she had somebody that was following behind her almost immediately before that. So she's screaming, no, 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 help. Apparently this other guy is now completely out of earshot, even though from what we can tell in the trailer, it looks like this happens 5 seconds before. So it feels like that particular scene anyway that they show in the trailer, is very sloppily done. And it could also be a callback to the original film where Margaret Kidder is killed by a crystal unicorn and stabbed repeatedly with it. Again, that's probably a callback, somewhat of a callback to that. Now we go through the trailer, and it kind of, as usual with horror trailers, it gets darker and darker as it goes on. You see a couple of people, get picked off and stuff like that. So I think somebody gets strangled with Christmas lights that's mixed in there, and a few other things. And we get to see the killer kind of walking around. This is a little scene where it shows him stepping on like a Christmas ornament, and then they realize that there's somebody in the house. Now, this seems fairly clear cut in the sense that there's not like a distinction. It doesn't seem like they're throwing very many red herrings out of who this killer might be or anything like that. Again, in the original, I believe he was just an escaped mental patient or something. And they kind of go through a little bit of the same story notes. Like in the original, they had a scene where a girl disappeared, and they went to the police station to look for her, and they said, "Oh, she's probably just off with a boyfriend and stuff." They do the same thing in this trailer, but they show a scene where she goes to the police, and they say, "Oh, she's off with a boyfriend." And then, we progress through and through. And the end of the trailer is really where we get this kind of weird offshoot moment that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Or it doesn't match up really with the idea of what Black Christmas originally was, which was basically just a slasher film that was based around Christmas. And it goes to this thing where apparently now they are sacrifices to some like order that the school has, because they show the English teacher who was at the beginning and he's part of this like cultic thing. Again, I feel like this trailer shows a lot. It shows way too much, a lot more than it should. I don't think you should have shown any of like the secret order stuff or whatever it is at the end. That should have been left in the movie. I feel like that's a very big spoiler. And even though I don't think this movie is going to be very good, but it seems like there's some kind of a sacrifice where they need college age girls to be murdered for whatever reason. And again, it feels like you're putting all of the premise in the trailer. We already apparently know who the secret bad guy is now, who's the English teacher, even though I don't know if he's actually the guy who's killing people and stabbing people. But it seems like now this might be something that's ingrained into the community. Maybe the police are involved. Maybe various members of the community are involved in it as well. So now there's this conspiracy angle, which should have been left to mystery and shouldn't have been exposed in the trailer. So as far as this trailer goes, and keep in mind this movie also comes out on December 13th, again, because they don't want to go head to head with anybody else, because December 13th I think is a pretty barren weekend. This seems like a bad movie. This does not seem like a good movie. The original Black Christmas is a personal slasher favorite of mine, and I think it was a lot better put together than even the stuff that they showed in this trailer. And I will mention one other thing. They do kind of do a few callbacks to some kill scenes in Black Christmas, specifically one involving saran wrap or some kind of plastic like tarp material where a girl is strangled with it and suffocated to death. In this, we see the main heroine, who is, I can't remember the actress's name. Again, a lot of no-name actresses, which you see a lot with low-budget horror films. And she basically is trying to strangle the killer with the same idea. It's reversed, but it's the same idea, and it's the same idea for a kill. So again, I don't find it very original. And again, this is kind of the problem I have with horror remakes, especially remakes of slasher films, is that we know the story already, and most of it has been done to all hell. I think that Blumhouse hit it good with that Halloween film they came out with last year, but I feel like you're starting to beat a dead horse now. I don't think you should. We already have 2 Halloween sequels that are on the way, and I don't think we need more remakes coming out of Blumhouse. I don't think we need a Black Christmas remake, a second one. And I don't think any of the other 80s slasher movies should be remade at this point, because they've been done very poorly in the past. We've seen Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street both get butchered in remakes. So overall, I think this is a bad trailer. I think this is a bad idea to go forward with this film. And I think that, they're trying to restart the slasher market, but there's not really a slasher market anymore. Horror is really become a very I don't want to say underground genre, but a very neglected genre, especially in recent memory, with a few exceptions. But slashers are not in right now. Again, Halloween has brought it a little bit back, but I don't think you're going to get it back by just remaking old 70s and 80s slasher films. But that's my opinion. I'd like to know yours. Put your thoughts in the comments. Would you like to see a remake of Black Christmas? Are you a fan of the original or the 2006 remake? Put your thoughts in the comments. Again, I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe. And remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?